Number 9.
Number 9. Number 9, as I recall, is the hippo. Okay. So, first of all, we have a story problem which freaks everybody out. Secondly, all we have to do is organize the information that we're given. So what do we know, and what would you do with it in order to be able to figure out how to solve this problem? All right. So let's put it in a table. So I have a table. What goes on the left side?
X.
But what is X here? We're talking about hippos here.
Age.
Okay, so we got age over here and weight on this side. Now, where do we want to start our table if possible?
0.
Do we have a 0 in the problem?
No.
Can we put a 0 just for now? Just for giggles. Okay, so we're going to have a 0 right there. What information do we know? Brenna?
At the age of 1, it was 700 pounds.
Okay, so at the age of 1, he's 700. Now, what goes here?
2.
Okay, how big was he at 700? Or at 2 years? Okay, we don't know yet. So what? We got 3. Do we know 3?
Yeah.
Which is
1,900.
1,900. And 4 is 25. Now what? Frankie?
Do you find the difference between the 19 and the 25?
So how much is the difference between the 19 and the 25?
600.
600. So how does that help me? Brenna?
It's slope.
It's slope. I got numbers here. I don't see slope. What's the slope?
Because that's the rate of change is 600 every time. 6 over 1. 600 over 1.
600 over 1 is my slope.
I found out what I did wrong.
Okay, that's good.
I dropped the 2 zeros. So I
What?
did
Now,
6
a
over 1.
lot of people did that. A lot of people did that, and they just said 600. Oh, that's just too big. It can't be 600. But if we put it into context, does it make sense that a hippo gains 6 pounds every year? It is a very skinny, svelte hippo, right? Okay. No, even though it's a big number, it's okay that it's 600. So we've got 600 over 1 is my slope. What does this 600 mean? Tell me what the slope is right here. What does this mean? Lexi?
600 pounds over 1 year.
Okay, 600 pounds per 1 year. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So we're good with that. Now, what else do I do with my table if I'm going to use a table? Because now we have slope. What else do I need? Lindsay? We need our y-intercept. Now, a lot of people, when they organized this in their table, they didn't start with the 0, but they said, okay, well, if y-intercept is where my line starts, they listed the y-intercept at 1,700. Is that my y-intercept? Because that's the first thing I have. No, it's not. What is a y-intercept? Kyle?
It's where the x equals 0.
It's where the x equals 0. So here, I don't know what it is yet. How can I find out what my y-intercept is? Lindsay?
Minus 600.
From what?
700.
Okay, so if I go from here to here and I go 600, I get a 100 there, so what's my y-intercept? So y-intercept is 0, 100. Now, when you ask, or when I ask, did you check it with a calculator? This is what we're going to do today. Now, turn on your calculators first off, and we're going to go into the y equals. Now, if I've got y equals, this is where I can make my equation. Now, I know my slope, I know my y-intercept, so if I'm using the form of the equation y equals mx plus b, what would be my equation that would represent the hippo and what's happening here? Chelsea?
Would it be 600x plus 100?
X plus 100. We need a y equals there. Okay. Does everybody agree with Chelsea? Are we good with this equation? Do I need to change anything? No. Okay, so I'm good here. So now let's plug it into our calculator. So we'll have 600x plus 100. Now, if I graph this, will it help me? Let's graph it. What's the problem? How come nothing's showing up here?
It is.
Christian?
The graph's too small.
Okay, the graph goes from negative 10 to 10. It has to go at least to where on my y-axis? It doesn't have to go to 600. It has to go to 100 to see, just to even see my y-intercept. But does the graph help me? Not really, because I don't have a graph on my test. Here's my test, and I don't see a graph on that problem, so I can't compare the graph to the test. But what can I compare? The table, because I can have a table right here. So instead of graphing, we're going to push the second button, and we're going to push that same graph button. You'll notice that the graph button, right on top of it, it says table. And on the table is written in blue. That means I have to press the blue button first. So if I have this, I've got 0, 100. I have 0, 100 right here. I have 1, 700. I have 1, 700 right here. 2, 1300. I don't have a 1300 right here. Is that a problem? Why not? Could I fill in this right here, Lindsay?
If you add 600 to 1300.
So if I added 600, I'd have 13 right here, and then it's the same. 3 is 1900 and 4 is 2500. So what does this table tell me from my calculator? Yeah, that you got it right.